been saving this sleeping bag for ages, and today we're turning it into a jacket. Sleeping bags are hands down the trickiest fabric to work with because you're not just working with one layer, you're working with three. And that's exactly why you need a simple pattern. I'm using the Boxy Jacket sewing pattern and expansion pack. I'll link it below. When working with thick materials like sleeping bags, everything takes a little bit longer, including cutting. So just take your time and work around slowly. Also, definitely choose a size bigger than you normally would, because the thicker the fabric, the smaller the jacket will feel overall. For the detailing, I'm going to use this purpley denim fabric. It's a really similar colour to this darker purple here. So I'm going to try and draw that out a little bit more. I'm also going to use this jersey mustard fabric for the plackets. And for the final pop, I'm going to use this green corduroy fabric. I'm not exactly sure where it's all going to go, but we'll figure it out. When choosing colour combinations, I like to create a lot of contrast because contrast creates a lot of tension, and tension is like visual excitement. A lot of vintage fabrics are already visually exciting, but it's really nice to complement them with some other colours. After I've cut out the pieces, I am going to overlock everything. If you don't have an overlocker, you can zigzag stitch. I tell you, it's not easy to keep those three layers together as you're overlocking, especially when the wadding inside is quite thick and it's just like bulking out. As you can see, it's very easy to miss a layer. I did try pinning the raw edges to hold the three layers together, and it did work fairly well. The key again is just to take your time and go slow. I like to hoover as I go because this stuff is dusty. Time to cut all the rest of the pattern pieces that we'll need today. So first up, we'll need 2 plackets. And then the pocket flaps. I'm going to cut 4 of these, and I'm making them a little bit wider. Then once you've cut 4, I'm going to use this scrap piece of quilt and use some of the inside wadding to put inside the pocket flaps so they have a little bit more body. Putting the right sides together of the pocket flaps, and then I'm overlocking the rounded edges. Then I'm going to flip them the right way out and then insert the wadding. Put these aside for now. Time to work on the panelled detail. I had a little idea with this one. So instead of doing the panel, I'm actually going to make it more like a rectangle shape, and it's actually going to serve 3 purposes. It's going to be decorative, like a panel, and it's going to be a pocket, a little chest pocket, and it's going to hold the chest pocket flaps. I'm cutting 2 more rectangles, and they're going to be 20 centimetres by 6 centimetres each. And these are going to be for the pocket opening. On the back, I am marking a line in the middle. It's 16 centimetres across. Then either side of that central line, I am marking another line 1 centimetre parallel either side, essentially creating a little rectangle inside the piece of fabric. And that is where I am going to sew. So before we do that, I am going to position the piece of fabric where I want the pocket opening to be on the front bodices. It's going to be just above the armpit curve. So right side's facing down, I'm going to pin it in place. Take it over to the machine, and I'm going to be sewing around that outer rectangle. This is a slightly different technique to the pockets that I do in the expansion pack for the Boxy Jacket sewing pattern. I'm cutting along the central marked line and making a little triangle either side so that I can tuck the fabric in and under to the other side. I'm going to pin it in place here just to keep it in the correct position. And I'm actually going to be sewing it down from the front, so I'm switching the pins to the front instead. Taking it back over to the sewing machine and sewing around the rectangle. It's about 1 centimetre from the edge, and then we have it. So once you've done both pockets, we are going to position the panels on. We're going to fold one of the long edges 1 centimetre and iron it down, and the top one we're going to fold it over by 2 centimetres and iron it down. When my grandma passed away, she left all of these beautiful old threads. So I had a look and I found a really perfect purple colour. They actually felt so sturdy and are such good quality. So I'm going to straight stitch that 2 centimetre seam down for the panel. And then I'm going to make the pocket backs. So I'm making a rectangle shape again. This one is 25 centimetres by 19 centimetres. And I'm just going to pin it in place and then take it over to the machine and sew it down. This is what it looks like on the front, and that's the back. Now it's time to sew down the panel pockets. So the 2 centimetre flap is going to be at the top, and we are going to position the chest pocket flap down and then place the panel over the top. Make sure it's positioned above the pocket opening. The pocket opening wants to be central to the pocket flap, and pin it all in place. This is where the chest pocket's going to be, and we're going to sew around here. And that's me stabbing myself in the finger. It really hurt. Luckily, my finger's still in one piece, and it's time to mark where we're going to be sewing. So between those 2 lines that I marked is where the pocket's going to be, and everywhere else is where I'm going to sew down. I'm a real visual learner, so I need a lot of visual aid when I'm learning something. That's why the Boxy Jacket Sewing Pattern Expansion Pack, I have made really detailed visual instructions to guide you on your way. When you finish that, it's time to add the plackets. Then I had an idea that I wanted to do a panel for the back, but instead of it being up by the shoulders, I am going to place it towards the bottom of the hem. So anyway, I cut a rectangle shape long enough for the back. And again, I fold 2 centimetres on one end and 2 centimetres, 1 centimetre on one end and 2 centimetre the other end, and iron them down. Take it to the machine and top stitch the 2 centimetre folds down. Then I'm going to pin it in place towards the bottom hem and sew it down. So I was going to do like a pocket, and then I thought, actually, it's pretty wide, so I'm going to make 3 little pockets. So I'm just measuring and marking where I'm going to have the 3 pockets, and then I'm going to sew them down. Doing a couple of little back and forth stitches at the top there to secure the pockets. And this is what the inside looks like, trimming away the threads. And then I'm going to place right sides together and pin just the shoulders. Take it to the machine and 1 centimetre seam allowance, sew them down, and then I'm going to top stitch the seams open. So this is what the shoulders look like. And then I'm going to lay it out flat and I'm going to attach the sleeves. I've been experimenting quite a lot, and this is definitely the easiest way to attach the sleeves to thicker fabric. So again, a 1 centimetre seam allowance, and then fold it out flat and top stitch the seams down. Quick fit check. Now I'm going to put the right sides together and sew the rest. Okay, on to the collar. It was a last minute decision to use this goldeny mustard corduroy fabric for the outside of the collar, and a slightly risky decision to go for this black and khaki checkerboard Sherpa fabric for the lining. The sleeping bag wadding is too thick to put inside the collar, so I'm using this other quilted wadding. And then I'm going to attach the collar to the jacket using loads of pins. If you're working with a domestic sewing machine, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure you are using a really sturdy needle. The collar is on. Now it's time to bind the raw edges. Once we've done that, I'm going to do the cuffs. So I had a last minute decision. Instead of binding the cuffs, I am going to use this ribbed knitted trim, and I'm trying to figure out how wide I want the cuff to be. I definitely don't want it to be too loose. And then I am just marking with chalk and cutting. So it's going to be 24 centimeters wide and 30 centimeters long. So I'm going to overlock the cuff of the jacket that I just cut. And then for the cuffs, I'm just putting right sides together and 1 centimeter seam allowance, sewing the long edge. Now to attach the cuff to the sleeve. Both the jacket and the cuff is inside out, and I am just, as you can see, pinning it to the cuff, working my way around slowly. The sleeve is quite wide and the cuff is much sort of like narrower, so I'm having to stretch the cuff as we go around. Okay, that's ready to sew down. So I'm actually going to tuck the cuff inside the jacket to sew it down. 1 centimeter seam allowance. And then we're going to pull the cuff out of the sleeve and roll it back on itself so that the right side is exposed, and roll it right over the sleeve seam. And I'm going to fold the cuff open edge about 1 centimeter, and then I'm going to pin it in place. And then using a needle and thread, old school, I am just going to hand stitch the cuff. I'm making sure that I'm not putting the needle all the way through to the other right side of the sleeve. So I'm just going through the first layer and some of the wadding. This means that on the right side of the sleeve, you're not going to see any of the thread. And voila. There we have the cuff. That's it from the inside, and then pull it out. That's the right side. Last thing to do is to attach the buttons, and there's a lot of buttons on this jacket because I've got quite a lot of pockets. I don't have one of those fancy button measurement tools. I love to do it by eye. Go and grab a ruler for this part if you like it to be absolutely perfect. I've been doing this for a wee while now, so I feel like I can pretty much do it by eye. And here's the final thing. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm really pleased with how the jacket came out. I just love working with unique and secondhand fabrics. Follow along. I'm gonna try and post videos like twice a month or so. So yeah, I'll see you next time. Until then, happy sewing.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be doing...
Naveed?
Oh, it's so